You're listening to the Agony Column News Report featuring interviews, phone interviews, reports from live book events and festivals, and conversations with readers. You can find additional news, interviews, book reviews, and more 5 days a week at the Agony Column website at trashotron.com/agony. I'm speaking with Richard Kadrey. His upcoming novel is The Devil Said Bang. Thank you for joining me, Richard.
My pleasure. Glad to be here.
Richard, you've been writing supernatural noirs now for a few years, and they're really enjoyable and very intense. I'd like you to talk about just using the trope of the supernatural and your supernatural demon and his vengeance and running that through the noir filter, and I think you're doing such a great job. And what's great is that you seem to be having fun as a writer, and we certainly have fun as a reader.
Oh, thanks. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, what I tried to do with Sandman Slim is not make it a fantasy with, detective or criminal elements. I really approached it as a Jim Thompson novel, as the crime genre with the supernatural. And as opposed to, like you say, like I said, there's a lot of fantasy around that just sort of gloms on some detective tropes on top of it. And I tried to keep it very basic, much more, like I said, in the Jim Thompson vein, rather than any kind of more modern take on it.
Could you talk about using plots and mystery genre aspects? How much of that maps out and dictates the direction of the story?
Well, the physical story in each book is controlled by the crime or mystery elements in there, which is very, like the old guys, I tend to plot out a bit, unless you're Chandler, in which you just make it up as you go along. But I do plot that out a bit, but that doesn't really impact that much on the overall arc and the overall mythology of the series, which is much deeper and weirder than any kind of mystery. So, I started out with, the first book, Sandman Slim, is a very simple revenge story. And as the series has gone on, by the time I finish the sixth book, I'll have rewritten the entire history of the universe, including all the deities that might have been involved.
Was this a decision you made when you started Sandman Slim, or was this something that came out as you pursued the series?
I had a lot of disparate notes when I was putting it together, but really the scope of the story I ended up telling, or I'm telling now, kind of came as a surprise because, but it depends on how you define surprise in the writing process, because there's that old Eno saying, consider your mistake a hidden intention. I'm a big believer in...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?